my grandmother ended up raising me, and she was diagnosed with multiple terminal illnesses at the same time.
Hello, Christopher. I would like to know, that here we gathered to ask few questions, and really would like to know about your book, which is titled Alignment Quotient, and there are multiple questions, and will you just tell us something about it?
Sure, and yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks. Appreciate you taking the time to do the interview. So yeah, what would you...
And my first question is, what led you to write the book? Then also the build it into a class. It means, what is the relation between this book and then make a class out of it?
Sure, good question. Yeah, so I mean, the Alignment Quotient book is it's a long process. It's been a long journey for me, like 20 years. And I started out just looking at myself and going, okay, how do I really live a life that I'm gonna be proud to live? Like, and I knew from me that it wasn't easy. Like, I just didn't know a path. I was 22 years old. I didn't kind of know how to approach life. And so I started working on this process. And I started with religion. So that was my first thing. I grew up Christian. And then I dug deeper into philosophy, because religion and I had a long history with religion, but I was like, okay, I want to know more. So I dug into philosophy, getting into ancient Stoicism, getting into existentialism, just digging through different philosophies and different historical teachers. And then in 2010, I was very fortunate, and I got introduced in a very strong way to neuroscience and social psychology. And I was able to start saying, wow, there's some really interesting scientific underpinnings to some of these philosophical concepts. And so I was really digging into that. And I'd been practicing the concepts that are in the book in my life since 2002, but then I've been exploring and making them deeper and more connected and also science-based. So I've made some modifications that were really helpful with the science that I learned. And in 2018, my grandmother, who really took care of me when I was young, that's a different story about my childhood and what happened there, but my grandmother ended up raising me, and she was diagnosed with multiple terminal illnesses at the same time. And the last 3 months of her life, I really spent there 24 hours a day taking care of her. And my grandma sacrificed a lot to take care of me as a kid. And I kind of felt that I'd done a lot in my life, and I'd been very successful in certain ways, depending on how you look at success. But I always felt that maybe there was more I could do. And I'd wanted to write this book, and I felt that these concepts made such a difference for me in my life. The way to honor her was maybe to get this out there, to put this out in the world and to help people where it could help people. And while I was taking care of her, I was on the night shift. And I started writing the book at night when she was sleeping, because she needed a lot of help at night as well. But when she would sleep, I would stay up and I would write, and that's when it got started. And then after she passed and the funeral, I kept going to build it into a book. But the book was never meant to be a work of literature. It wasn't supposed to be another philosophy that you put into the world. It was meant to be something that people touch, that people put in their lives. And so I'd known, and a lot of people don't read, right? You have readers, and then you have people who would prefer to watch videos. And so I said, okay, well, I need to turn this into something functional for people, because I just didn't want it to sit on a bookshelf someplace. And so then I built the course, and then made it actionable and made it blended learning, so people can meet me and talk with me in the course. It's not just you watch some videos and you're done, or you do some worksheets. We actually interact. And I always wanted that, so I can interact with the people, and if there's something I can give, then I'm available.
Yeah, interesting. Like, in a way, a book is a passive experience, and with your class, it will be more active experience of process of understanding.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many people that are suffering a lot in a lot of different ways in their lives, and you can't quantify where people are in their life. But I wanted to always have the ability for people to interact with me on these ideas, because some of them are like a little bit counterintuitive, and having a chance to ask questions and discuss and share their experiences as well, and discuss with other people and meet people in a community where people can learn from each other as well as from me, and where I can interact with that community, right?